Hi, my name is JC Villarreal, and this is my solution to Project 1 for the course CS50 Mobile Application Development using React. And the Project 1's objective is to create a Pomodoro timer, and the timer should be able to start and stop whenever you want to by clicking the start and stop button. And additionally, you should be able to reset the timer to 25 minutes or 5 minutes, respectively. So this is my solution to that. So if initially when the application is started, it's set to 25 minutes, and if I click start, it will start counting down. If I click stop, it should stop counting down. And if I click on reset to 25 minutes, it should reset the timer to 25 minutes. And if I click on reset to 5 minutes, it should reset the timer to 5 minutes. And if I, for example, start the timer and started counting down and I click on reset to 5 minutes, it will be resetted back to 5 minutes, but still the timer will still continue counting down unless I click on stop. Same goes when if I click on start and then it's already counted down, started counting down and I click on reset to 25 minutes, it should not stop unless I click on stop. So how I did that is is by doing a few steps. So first, I created the updated the styles in the original code that's provided in the project, and I just added some time the styles on the banner and some styles on the buttons. And at the bottom of the application is the default class, which just calls the class timer. And what this timer does, it renders the view that you see on the application. And that view includes the button, which when clicked, when this start button is clicked, it would call the function start timer. Click stop, it will call the function stop timer. And then in the middle is the uh, actual timer that you see on the screen, which is retrieving the value of time.min and time.sec, which later I'll show you where it is being called. And at the bottom, you have two buttons, which is reset to 25 minutes and reset to 5 minutes, which calls their own functions, set duration 25 and set duration 5. And up top, how I implemented that is in this class timer class. And this class timer extends the React component. And at the start of it, there's a constructor which sets the state time, seconds, and start to 25 minutes, and start is false to indicate that the timer initially started. Is not started initially. And this sets timer is initially set to 0, and we'll use that later in the set interval. And then I have this function called converter. And what it just does is computes the number of seconds, which is 1,500 seconds, and convert that to minutes. And whatever the remaining will be converted back to seconds. And those output will be in the form of an integer. And if that, and if the minutes resulted to a digit, an integer less than 10, it will convert that minutes to string and append a 0. So that it will always be a two-digit number. And the same goes to seconds. And then it will return the minutes in minutes, which is a string, and a seconds a sec, and which is the value of seconds, which is a string as well. And this component did mount function, it initially just sets the value of the timer in the middle to 25 minutes, but it's not started. This component did update function is checking whether it's state seconds, which is the number of seconds left, is 0, meaning there's no time left. And we'll just call the vibrate function to vibrate the phone. And then call the stop timer function so that it should set the state start to false and stop counting down. And then a few small functions here. The start timer function checks whether the stated seconds is greater than 0. There's meaning there's still seconds left. And if the state start is set to false, meaning it's not started yet. If it's so, it will set the start sets it will set the start to true and then the timer to set interval, which should call this function to decrease the time to 1000 milliseconds. The stop timer will just check whether the state is already started, which is true. If it's not, it already started, and we'll just clear the interval and then set the state to false. It's as simple as that. And a set duration 25, which when you click on reset to 25 minutes, is calling is checking whether if the current state is 1500 seconds, which is 25 minutes, and if it's not, then it will set the seconds to 1500 minutes and then convert that into a minute secondary object and then set that in the time. That's why you see the 25 minutes in the screen. And it will set the seconds to 1500 seconds. And same goes to set duration 5, but rather than checking to if it's 1500 as a value, you will just check if it's 300. And if it's not 300, you will set it to 300 and then set the defaults to 300 seconds. The decrease function just performs a decrement on the stated seconds by 1. And it just passes that value to the state time and convert it back to string, to an object, minutes and seconds. And the output is this. That's it. Thank you very much.